In the high-stakes world of global technology, most countries feel like they have to pick a side. But what if there was another way? Today, we're diving into how Oman is kind of rewriting the playbook on building a digital future by strategically partnering with some pretty fierce rivals.
So that's the central question we're looking at. And it is a big one. In a world with this much tech competition, how can a nation possibly build a world-class digital economy without getting totally caught in the crossfire? Well, Oman's answer is a real masterclass in geopolitical balancing. So what's really driving all of this? It's a national plan called Vision 2040. The whole goal is to move past the traditional industries and build a modern, knowledge-based economy. But here's the thing. To attract the kind of global talent and investment you need for that, you've got to have a digital backbone that's not just fast, but is fundamentally secure and trustworthy. And this is where their core strategy comes into play, a dual-source ICT strategy. Okay, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually brilliantly simple. Instead of choosing one side in the global tech race, Oman is choosing the best from both. They're combining that high-capacity hardware from Asia with top-tier security models from the West. Let's dig into how they actually pull this off. The first pillar of this whole strategy is all about building trust. See, before you can have all the speed and cool innovation, you have to prove that your digital ecosystem is secure and compliant. This is the absolute bedrock that attracts serious international investment. So here's how that balancing act really works. On one side, you've got the Western Nexus, which provides the governance and security. On the other, the Asian Catalyst brings the capacity and sheer speed. Oman is literally building its digital infrastructure on these two very different but equally strong pillars. Let's start with the Western Nexus. A perfect example of this is the partnership between Datamount, that's a local data center provider, and Deloitte, the global consulting giant. Now, this isn't just some handshake deal, it's a really strategic alliance. By merging local infrastructure with world-class cybersecurity expertise, they can meet all those international compliance standards and give global investors the security they're demanding. And this quote just gets right to the point, doesn't it? It's not about some abstract idea. It's about providing tangible, stronger defenses for their clients. This is exactly how you build that essential layer of digital trust. All right, so let's move to the second pillar and see how this builds. Once you have that secure foundation, you need the engine. You need speed, you need capacity, and you need the infrastructure to handle the massive data demands of a modern economy. And this is where the Asian Catalyst comes in. So while the West is providing that framework for governance and security, major Asian tech players like Huawei are brought in for the raw power. They provide the high-speed deployment that's absolutely necessary for 5G and all that next-generation connectivity. And believe me, this isn't a small commitment. Companies like Huawei have a massive and growing presence in the region. We're talking about significant revenue growth year over year and hundreds of commercial partners. This gives Oman access to cutting-edge technology and, frankly, the capacity to become a true regional hub for digital infrastructure. So what's the end result of combining these two powerful pillars? You get a diversified technology stack. By not putting all their eggs in one geopolitical basket, Oman builds in resilience. If there's a supply chain issue or a political problem with one supplier, they aren't left vulnerable. It also gives them access to a much wider array of global solutions. It's essentially the best of both worlds. But this strategy isn't just about data centers and 5G towers. Oh no, Oman is applying this exact same partnership-driven model to solve some very specific and very tough industrial challenges. This is where the plan gets really, really sophisticated. They're using this global partnership model to tackle one of the world's biggest challenges, decarbonization in heavy industries like steel and cement manufacturing, which, by the way, are absolutely central to Oman's economy.
So here's how that process looks in action. First, they identify the high-emissions industries. Then, they partner up with a specialized company, in this case, Hydrogen Utopia. Together, they acquire the license for a specific American technology for converting waste into clean hydrogen. And the final step? They deploy it right on the ground for immediate impact. It's a surgical, targeted approach that leverages global innovation to solve local problems. So, let's pull all of these threads together. What does this three-pronged approach, security, capacity, and specialized tech, actually create? It creates what we can call Oman's winning synthesis. Okay, so let's just quickly recap that three-pillar structure. You've got the Western Nexus, providing trust and security. Then the Asian Catalyst brings the speed and the infrastructure.
And finally, those targeted partnerships solve specific industrial problems. Each pillar supports the others, creating a powerful, totally integrated system. So, by refusing to pick a side and instead just partnering with the best in every field, Oman is building more than just a digital economy. It's positioning itself as a secure, reliable, and integrated digital gateway between the East and the West. And that really just leaves us with a final, fascinating question. In an era of such fierce technological competition, could Oman's pragmatic, best of all worlds strategy be the new playbook for other nations trying to navigate this landscape? It's a powerful idea to consider. Thanks for tuning in.